Hey everybody, welcome to our team call. It is August 4th, 2020. Can you believe it's already August? Where does the time go? Welcome to everyone that's a new coach. Congratulations for joining the Good Vibe Tribe. You made the best decision ever. 4 things you want to do as a coach. They are things you'll do as a new coach and when you're a seasoned coach. These are the 4 things I do every single day to grow my business. Number 1, be proof the products work every single day. Drink your Shakeology or your performance, do your workouts, do your personal development, lead the life. You are your own billboard. And when people see you progressing and radiating, they want that too. Number 2, invite, connect, and follow up. You've got to be adding to your network daily, starting new conversations, inviting your friends to your network, inviting friends to your boot camp, inviting friends to coach opportunity, talking to your coworkers. Just invite everyone to join you on your journey. Decide on a challenge you want to run if you're not already running one. Connect with people, invite them, and follow up with them. Number 3, help people get results with their fitness, their nutrition, and their coaching business. And number 4, do the PD work, or as Sandy said on our national wake up call today, the mindset work, right? Expand your mindset and ditch limiting beliefs. Read or listen to personal development, business development daily. I think Jessica's going to share some of her favorite books that she's digging into so far on her journey. Become a success starter. If you are a newer coach, you want to be a success starter by helping at least 3 people in a calendar month for at least 3 months in the first 6 months of your business. Is that overwhelming or not? Success Club is helping 3 people a month get started on a challenge pack. You want to do that basically your first month, your second month, and your third month, and really every month thereafter. But if you miss a month in there, as long as you do it within the first 6 months of your business, 3 different times, you're going to earn your ticket to Coach Summit 2021. If you already bought a ticket, it will be in burst. You'll also earn your way into the next pilot test group. We don't have a coach training on Facebook right now. We just wrapped one up. We will have another one coming up soon. In the meantime, you can log into our coach training website at goodvibetribecoaches.com, or if you just want to go through the units in our Facebook training group, you're welcome to do that as well. We'll do another one this month. Connect with your coach and upline for support. Use our groups, team calls, national wake up call, champions page. Have fun, help others, and be a change maker. Success Club, I will say till the day is done, it is what helped me build my business. My business would not be where it's at if I didn't chase Success Club every single month. All it is, like I said, is helping 3 people get started on a challenge pack in every single calendar month. The more people you help, the more money you earn, the more, success you're going to see, the more testimonials you'll have, et cetera, et cetera. But Success Club starts at Success Club 5. How you earn it? Help people with challenge packs. You get 2 points per challenge pack, plus you're going to be earning $40 to $90 in commission. Hitting Success Club 5, really it's usually 6 that you'll hit. It's helping 3 people. Hitting Success Club 10, helping 5 people, 2 points per challenge pack. You want to hit Success Club 20, you've helped 10 people that month. Really easy stuff. You must also have 90 PV on HD on your account. That means keep your Shakeology on HD or keep your performance stack on HD and you are good to go. We already covered success starters, but success starters also earn 25 times more than other coaches. Go check out successclubtrip.com/2021 so you can see what you can earn by being a Success Club All-Star. Good Vibe Tribe Success Club board. I'm going to have to add this up to see how many people we helped in July, but I know the numbers are astronomical. So I will add that up and put it in our team page. Congratulations to everybody. Look at the Success Club 40 and up. Moira, Maggie, Courtney, myself, Jolie, and Lauren. That's freaking nanas. Success Club 10 and up. I'm not going to read all these names. This is amazing, you guys. Truly, truly honorable. And then for this past week alone, look at the weekly leaderboard. PV is what you see at the top of this board. Moira is our top coach of the week with 2,025 PV. PV stands for personal volume, right? Success, SC stands for Success Club. We just covered what that is. PV stands for personal volume. That is anything that your customers purchase from you, okay? Nothing to do with what your coaches purchase. If you have coaches on your team, that's TV, team volume. That's what you end up getting cycle bonuses on. PV is where you earn your commissions. So when you're high in PV, this shows that you have new customers coming in, you have great customer retention, great customer service, you're helping your clients get linked up with the right products and programs and support for their needs. So you want to be on this board. You're getting a paycheck weekly when you're here. Look at these girls in the 900 Club, Mackenzie, Alana, in the 800 Club, Jacqueline, Leanne in the 700 Club, Allison and Aaron. 600 Club, Samantha, Bethany, Hannah, Katie, another Leanne Bag. 500 Club, Courtney, Jolie, April, and Cece. And so many of you already in Success Club this month, and a lot of you on the 300 volume board as well. So Success Clubbers already this month. We've got Brittany, Whitney, that rhymed. Brittany, Whitney, Rosalind, Maggie, Courtney, Leah, Whitney, Tucker, Tiffany, Megan, Katie, Robin, Allison, Heidi, Bethany, and Kaylee. Congratulations. Whitney Tucker is a brand new Emerald coach. She hit Success Club last month. She's already in Success Club this month. I'm going to say it's because she pumped her well so hard last month, and it's rolling over to the top of the month, just like Ashley Molstead talked about on this week's National Wake Up Call. If you didn't see it, go back and watch it. It was great. Congratulations to our newest Emerald coaches, Katarina, Kim, Nicole, Whitney, I just mentioned, and to Kirsten. These women not only have hit Success Club, I believe they all hit Success Club last month, but they became Emerald coaches, which means that they are getting free company generated leads this month. Nicole already hit me up and she's like, whoa, new name in my inbox. What do I do with my new lead? And that is the benefit of getting Emerald and hitting Success Club is you get free company generated leads. You also get $14 cycle bonuses in addition to your commissions at 25 to 40%. This is really exciting. I'm excited for your growth, you guys. Congratulations. And our newest diamond coach, who you're going to hear from tonight in a little bit, Jessica Amerosa. I'll tell her story in just a moment. As a diamond coach, she has now given herself a promotion and a raise. She is now getting $18 team cycle bonuses, and she has a rocking team that she gets to lead. Super proud of you. Can't wait to hear from you tonight. I'll just go through a couple announcements, and then I'll turn it over to Jessica in a moment. Just so you know, Bar Blend pre and postnatal is LIVE live in Beachbody On Demand now. So you can do those workouts. You can share them with your pre and postnatal friends. You can build challenge groups around them. Make sure everybody knows about them. You never know who your friends are, who your team is, who your family members are that know someone that need this also. And maybe it is you. Maybe this is your thing. Welcome to Team Cup. For those of you that are on a Team Cup team, look at some of the fun prizes you can earn. Don't forget this month, MBF and MBFA will be releasing on August 17th. So that challenge pack is $20 off. And then every other challenge pack is $20 off as well. But there's not an additional $20 off of MBF, right? Like it's $160, just so you get that. Those of you that did Team Cup, you have 3 promo codes for $20 off. Maybe it's not all the other challenge packs are $20 off. I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong on that. I'm sorry. MBFA is $20 off. If you're on a Team Cup team, you got 3 promo codes for challenge packs that are $20 off. I need to read the fine print, you guys. I need to catch up. Life has been throwing me some lemons. If you know what challenge packs are on for sale on promo this month, type it in the chat box and I'll share it. Success Club rewards. Here they are right here. So if you hit Success Club 1 month, you're going to get that cute tank. If you hit it for 3 months, you're going to get the super workout puzzle. If you hit it for 6 months, you're going to get a set of Shakeology sleeved blankies. Who doesn't want that? At 9 months, you're going to get a Team Beachbody pullover sweatshirt. And at 12 months, you're going to get one of these, like I think they're G3 Theragun thumpers. So go for it. Also, 10 rounds is going to be in our member library on August 31st, which is sooner than anticipated. So for those of you that are getting people signed up with an MBF challenge pack, this is the only thing they don't have access to until August 31st. But with an MBF challenge pack, they also get access to Ultimate Portion Fix and 2B Mindset. Pretty good deal. All right, so I jammed through that because I didn't want to waste any more time before opening up the call to our presenter tonight. So I call this call what it really looks like. The Journey to Diamond by new Diamond coach, Jessica Amerosa. So me and Jess met, and I'll let her share her story, but me and Jess met years and years ago through the yoga studio that I used to work at. She was a client that took classes there, and we got to know each other through the yoga studio. And then over the years, she followed me, I suppose, on social media. What did I know? I didn't know these things. And eventually we reconnected, and she was like, hey, I really need some support. She came here right here into Sweat and Soul studio. And I pulled out a little folding chair and I was like, all right, let's talk. She probably has a better story about this, but she basically told me she was going to sign up with the challenge pack. And then she was like, deuces. We hung out for a while. We probably hung out for a half an hour just chatting. And then she was like, deuces. I followed up with her and I didn't hear anything again. And it was literally months and months later that she reached out and was like, okay, I'm ready to bite the bullet. And so, sometimes it just takes time. You gotta be willing to put in that long game mentality. It's like, I know everybody wants to grow really fast, and you certainly can, but she is an absolute rock star. I couldn't be happier for her and to see her budding success. And she's someone I truly believe so much in, and I could absolutely see just like being on the stage at Summit, sharing her story, and just wowing everybody. And so I'm really excited that she stuck it through and reached out to me and made this happen. And with all that said, I'm going to turn it over to you, Jessica, if you want to unmute your mic and maybe introduce yourself and share a little bit of your version of your story, how this all came about.
Okay, so I'm so nervous. I'm just going to be really honest. And I have all my notes written out. So if you see me going back and forth, I just want to make sure that I really cover everything and give you guys really my story. So as Mara mentioned, we met at Core Power Yoga Studio in San Diego years and years ago. And I used to go to her classes because I love the way that she taught. We would chat here and there. And then over time, I noticed something a bit different with her, right? And so I kept following her on social media, and I wouldn't like her posts, right? Because I didn't want her to know that I was like stalking her on social media. But I always felt like it was such a beautiful account, and I couldn't figure out how she was getting that, but I needed to know. I just didn't want her to know that I needed to know. So we chatted, whatever, talked about Beachbody a couple times, kind of like skimmed the surface, and that was it, right? I didn't really ask more questions, follow up, still follow her on social media. And then in 2018, we moved, my husband and I, we had our son Rocco when he was 9 months old. We moved from San Diego to Central New York. So that can be a whole nother call. We moved to Central New York, and I lived here through like one full season of winter. And we went back to San Diego May of 2019. And I called Mara before and I said, listen, I really want to come and see you. I want to talk about this. I want to get serious. She said, okay, what day? We planned it out because I was on vacation in San Diego. So I went to her house and we did. We talked for a half an hour, at least, maybe an hour. And I left there and I was committed. I said, I'm doing this. I'm enrolling. Got on a plane, came back to New York, and I didn't commit. To this day, I can't really figure out what it was that I couldn't commit to. And at the time I thought, $160, that's so much money. Now I look back at it and I think, oh my God, I wasted so much time, right? So come back here in May. It wasn't until I go through fall, start to hit another winter, it's January, and I'm feeling like, okay, I've got to do something for myself. And a little bit of a backstory, when I was in San Diego, I used to teach spin classes, did a lot of yoga, I was in shape, but it was always reliant on class times, right? Or I had to teach in order to be able to work out. And so when I moved here, I didn't have access to any of that. I wasn't a spin instructor. They don't really have great yoga studios here, not the yoga that I was used to. So I couldn't really find my community. I couldn't find that group fitness. And so I thought, I want to really reconnect with that aspect of my life. I had fallen out of shape a little bit. I was eating poorly. This is like, so much Italian food is here and it's delicious, but I was falling into some really bad habits. And so saw Mara in May, came back, started to go through winter, and I just called her in the end of January and I said, I need to do this with you. And she started giving me options. Okay, and I said, no options. Don't give me options, just do it. Like, don't let me back out of this again. So that was sort of the start of the journey. It took me years to commit. And then when I did, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even really know what I was signing up for, except I knew I could work out at home. I didn't really know much about it. So because one of the vital behaviors is you have to be proof of the product, I needed to get to that point where I felt like I need to make sure I can do this, right? Like I need to be proof that I can commit and follow through. So I started with 21 day, why is it escaping me? Yes, 21 day fix, and then extreme. Thank you. I was like, wait. And I immediately saw results. I was committed to nutrition, committed to really getting myself in better physical shape. And I started to see these changes. And I'm like, okay, I can start to share. So initially I wasn't really focused on the business part of it, didn't really understand it. And then when I started sharing, I just kept, everything I was posting was like workout call to action, workout call to action. And I'm like, why is nothing happening? I wasn't inviting at all. I just thought if I do this like wide, video and share it, they're just going to flock to me. People are just going to come to me because they see that it works. Well, I called Mare and I said, why am I stuck? Why is nothing happening? And so she did like an audit of my social media. And she said a couple things. One, she said, you're only really sharing one aspect of your life, right? Like they love you. They want to know what's going on. They really want to get to know you. If they don't, like, you have to decide what is your story. People connect to pain points. It can't just always be a call to action. And I was like, oh, okay. So I need to like stop doing that. And I need to really pause and I need to start defining my story. Like what is it about me that can connect to people, or what is my story? And I think sometimes we think, well, I don't really have anything to share. When you pause and you think about it, it's like I had a lot to share, but I needed to figure out what I was comfortable sharing. And I needed to really dig deep in how I would share that story. And I really am still in the beginning stages of that. I mean, I really just scratched the surface with that. So I couldn't base, because the other thing is I was constantly watching Meredith's Instagram stories, right? And like, that's what I wanted. I wanted to be able to post those videos and those pictures, and she's got a beautiful studio, and I didn't have any of that. And I couldn't quite figure out, like, I want to be like her. And what I was missing was she didn't start that way. So like, I was comparing my beginning to her middle, right? Like, you can't, that's 7 years of difference. That's 7 years of growth, 7 years of the hard work that I hadn't put in. And I was just expecting people just to like show up at my door. It's not going to happen like that. So I was really very deep in like a comparison mindset. And when you're in that space, it's really hard to get on the other side of the doubt that you feel. So I needed to come to terms with what was my story? What can I tell about me? Because I needed to own it, right? And it was like the moment I started becoming authentic with my story, it was like something shifted, right? So for me, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to. I needed to give myself permission to just suck at this. I'm like, you're just going to suck until you get better. I don't know how long that's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be months, weeks, years. But I just have to get in a space where it's okay to suck. And you know what I did? I went way down deep in Meredith's stories and her pictures and social media. And I looked at her progression. I looked at how things got prettier and how, her story got deeper. And I'm like, all right, I can do this. And so I started to think about my life. And it was really in May. I can remember this turning point. It was on Mother's Day. Part of my story, part of my large story, is infertility. It's been a very long, challenging road. I won't bore you with the details right now, but it was on Mother's Day that I was seeing all these posts, right? Like, Happy Mother's Day, Happy Mother's Day. And while I do have a child, I finally had a successful pregnancy, carried him to term. All of my losses and all of my pain and all of that is still very raw in me, right? Because I'm supposed to have more than one child. So really the Mother's Day posts for me, it was like, all right, this is my chance. So I posted a picture of myself, pregnant self. And I don't even remember what I wrote now, but it was something like, your fear doesn't know your strength. Like, happy Mother's Day to those of you who are still trying, and whatever it was, I can't remember. It was like so many people were sending me direct messages. And that's when that connection can happen and those conversations can start. And it was this moment of, it was like an aha moment of like, okay, these are those moments, these are those conversations, these are those connections that I need to make in order to move my business forward. And I will say, you know, when I think about, after our national wake up call yesterday, when I think about moving my business forward, I've really shifted, just from yesterday, shifted my thinking of, it's not really for me about moving my business forward, it's about the connections that I make. And I really work, there's one coach that I have on my team, and she's on the call. She really is just, she reaches out to me and says things to me like, thank you so much for everything. I've lost this much weight, or I have this win that is not a scale win, or I felt really good in my swimsuit, you know, with my husband's family for the first time ever. Those are the things for me that drive me forward. It's the connections. It's like, I get chill bumps like talking about it, right? So I'm trying really hard not to focus on, I mean, obviously you have to have goals, right? Because you're not going to meet the goals if you don't set them. But it's really not what I'm trying to focus on. I'm trying to focus on the connections and meeting people. So that's how I'm finding my people, is I'm starting to share my authentic story. And moving from San Diego to upstate New York, where I didn't know, I mean, I knew my husband's family, but I didn't have any friends. I was starting a new job in a new city with like kind of two seasons, like summer and winter, that's like eternal. And you know, and it was, and that for me was something I wanted to start sharing. I'm already thinking about what are new things I can share. We bought this home that, you know, we haven't bought a single piece of furniture for. So that's something maybe I want to start sharing. It's just different things in your life that aren't just about the workouts and aren't just about challenge packs. And, you know, and those are all important things to talk about weekly and daily, but it's also including and understanding that balance of all of it. And I would say a couple of other quick things, and then I'll start to wrap it up. I don't know how long. I have this fear that I still am that I have this internal struggle with always, that someone's going to have an opinion about me or judgment about me based off of what I'm doing. And I was talking to my husband tonight about, here are the things I'm going to talk about, right? Like, and you know, everyone's going to have an opinion, good or bad. And he said, well, hold on, pause. He said, who has had, that you know of, like a judgment or a bad opinion about what you're doing, or said something that has made you feel like you're selling to them, right? And I said, well, nobody. And he said, so where are you getting that idea? And I went, right here, right? So I'm giving power to what I think people are thinking, right? Like, I'm thinking people are having these negative opinions, and no one has ever said anything or put anything on my social media or made me feel like, in fact, it's been the very opposite. I've gotten all positive reactions from friends and family. And I just got a message tonight from a girl who's like, thank you so much for your videos every day. They're so inspiring. So I feel like I've been giving power to what I think are these negative opinions, and really, I haven't had a single negative opinion. The other thing that I want to say is I'm learning that it's really hard to pursue my dream in this if I'm simultaneously worried about judgment, right? So I need to come to this place of believing in what I do. And that is where, like, the mindset work for me, it is changing everything. And listen, I'm still on book 1. I've been doing this for months and months. I'm still on book 1, but I'm telling you, it is an incredible book, and it really is shifting my mindset. So that's kind of my story. And I have to be honest with you, the things that I really suck at are inviting people. I suck at inviting people. And that's one of my goals for the month of August is I have to do a better job, because really I feel like I could be so much further if I would have just had more confidence in inviting. And I think when you get more comfortable with your raw, authentic story, you become comfortable inviting. I sent out an invite today like I was a boss, right? I was like, because I stopped I'm really shifting on worrying about like what people think, because if you were again on the call yesterday, it is our responsibility to share how amazing this is. And that's all you have to say, right? Like, I want to share this with you because I'm a mom, I work full time, I have a husband, a house, and this has changed my life in a matter of 6 months. Not just my physical being, but it has changed my relationships, it has changed my attitude. I mean, I'm not looking forward to winter, but I know that I'll survive it because I have this. I have my community. I have these calls. I can work out in my home for 30 minutes. I can do it without feeling like I'm taking time away from my family. So all of these things, if I don't share all of this, shame on me. Shame on me. And somebody has said this before, and I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was on another National Wake Up Call. But if somebody says no to you, they're not saying no to you. They're saying no to themselves, and they're just not ready. So don't take that as, oh my gosh, like failure, or, oh no, I shouldn't have done it. You circle back around the next month you're doing invites, or however you structure your planning. Because again, like she said on the wake up call, sometimes you put things like in your cart, but you don't always check out right at that time, but they sit in your cart. Sit in people's cart, right? Like stay in their, not in their face, but stay present with all your social media stuff and touch base with them. So that's really all my advice. That's my experience. I have so much room to improve. I am the most unorganized coach you'll ever meet. That's one of my goals for this month, is to really get that piece of it together. Yeah. So that's it.
I love it. You're amazing. What book are you reading?
Oh, don't make fun of me. I'm still reading this book. Girl, stop apologizing. This book is, for me, it has been everything. And I really, one of the things Jacqueline said on one of the calls was, when we get off these calls and you're feeling these feelings, you've got to take action with it. So I've started applying that to my, to reading, right? Like if I read something and I go like, whoa, that really hits home, I pause with that for a few minutes. And I really focus on it and think about how can I shift? How can this apply to me? Why am I having this aha moment? And I sit with it and I let it marinate, because I feel like I can read this whole book, but if I don't implement it in my life or start to shift my mindset, I'm not going to grow, and I'm not going to grow as a coach and for my community and with my coaches on my team. So I think it's really important that you pause in those moments that really hit home and say, all right, I'm going to sit with this for a minute and see how I can shift. So that's what I've been trying to do more of lately.
So good. So we were talking earlier today, me and you, and we talked about a few different things. We talked about things like, gosh, there was a lot we covered, but we talked about things like just getting started and how to get those first couple wins. And I know a lot of you on the team, especially that just did our coach, new coach training, signed up a family account or maybe 2 family accounts. And I know something that was something you did early on to get your first few wins,
Yes.
is you enrolled your husband and built a partner account. But I also knew it was at a crux in your life, and financially things weren't really strong. Can you talk a little bit about that feeling and making the decision? And I don't know if you talked to him about it or how that went down.
I didn't even tell him. I mean, I just told him when he got like a Beachbody delivery in his name. I was like, by the way, when I came back from that California trip, we lived with my in-laws because we didn't have obviously a house here yet. Yeah. And when we bought our home, we bought it in September of 2019. Okay. So we bought the house in September again. And also we bought the house with like a San Diego frame of mind for cost of living. So we probably bought too much house. And it was a bit scary, but I was like, yeah, it's what we paid for rent in San Diego. We can do that. Then my husband got laid off, and he was laid off for 4 months, and we were on my income, and I work in higher education, which doesn't pay anything. Well, not anything, but very little. So it was in that Christmas was coming, you know, we've got a baby and 2 car payments and all these things. And I'm like, oh, how are we going to do this? And it's then when I said, sign me up, Meredith. Like, who does that? Like, one income, we were like pulling out of savings. He had been laid off from his job. And I just said, it was like I was in the depths of like, things can't get worse, even though they can always get worse. I was feeling that way. And that's when I said, something has to shift. I've got to do something for myself. And that's when I called her and I said, I need something. And $160 in that moment was so much for me. The coolest part of it, I literally signed up that day that I enrolled. I came home from work, and I immediately sent you a picture of this. There was a check in the mail from Subaru for $200. I don't even know what it was for. It was like a rebate. I don't even know why I got it. And I'm like, could the universe be telling me that this is everything, right? Like, I spent the $160. I didn't have it. What was I going to do? But I needed to do something for myself. And I came home and there was a $200 check in the mail. Like, I couldn't believe it. And I'm like, this is meant to be. It was so crazy. What car place sends you money? I was like, oh my God. And it was a real check. It wasn't, you know, like, if you do this, you can have money. It was real. And so it was in that moment that I'm like, I believe that I was supposed to do this. Now, I started out very slow. I don't even think I hit Success Club in the first 2 months, 3 months maybe. And I was like, all right, I've got to do something here. I need to strategize. And that's when I started the ball rolling on like, all right, what am I doing wrong? What can I do? And of course, Meredith helped me with being strategic with regards to, you know, enrolling Matthew as a coach. And then I could, you know, help to build that piece. But I'll tell you what really I think has been great is my coach on my team, Beth, who has started this journey and who sees so much progress. She is now inspired, right? And so she's starting to like share she's like, I think I'm going to do my very first post. And I've never asked her to coach. I've never asked her to do anything. She on her own, because she is so inspired by her own story, that now she's starting to say, okay, I'm going to share my post. And she did. And within 24, 48 hours, she had people like reaching out to her. She's like, I've already got somebody, you know? And so that's another area where I need to grow. I need to learn how to work better with my coaches. But the thing that you need to remember as a new coach, there's so much to learn. You just jump in with both feet, I'm telling you, and you learn as you go. I was in the beginning, I'm like, I don't know what coup means. I don't know what PV, what is all this stuff? I'm like Googling on the side. What is this? And you get it. You learn as you go. Diamond, I was like, I don't know what that means. What does emerald mean? I have no idea. And then you just keep plugging away. You just keep going and you learn as you go. And you just have to have faith in the process. Google that shit is exactly right. Google everything. So that's kind of it.
I love it. You're a rock star.
Yeah.
So you guys, do you guys have any questions for Jessica? I mean, like, there's so many things I think that are, in case you're like, well, I don't know what to ask. Maybe you have lots of questions, but like, I was even asking her stuff today. Like, you know, she didn't hit Success Club. She wasn't a success starter. She didn't hit Success Club some months, but yet she rocked it. Like last month she hit Diamond and SC10.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't let the past, if you tried to hit a goal and there was a perceived failure, you didn't let that get in your way. You know, like there's so much to ask as far as like what she's doing for the mindset work and how she's working through things and what her team looks like now. I mean, I can tell you she has Beth and her husband as her emeralds. Like that's the beginning of a diamond. You have your spouse account that you partner with, and you have one person on your team that's building, and you have a lot of people who maybe aren't there yet, you know, and you're just getting your legs. That's really what it looks like in the beginning. But it's a really exciting time because you have a team of 12 and you have people like she's got Beth now, and Beth's awesome. She rocks in our challenge groups, and she's just like, she shows up every day. And it's like, that's so fun and rewarding when you find the first person that wants to run with you. Like Jacqueline was one of the first people that wanted to run with me. And I'm like, this is so fun when you've got that person on your team that just wants to roll. So what questions do you guys have for Jess? If you want to unmute your mic and ask her, or if you want to ask in the chat box, you can do that too.
I have a question. Yeah. So I've noticed that like my closest friends and a lot of my family aren't going to be the first persons to support you. Is that something you noticed as well?
Yeah. And I'll tell you why I got in my own way with it. I was too afraid to ask, right? Because I didn't want to sell to my friends. I didn't want to sell to my family. That was my feeling in the beginning, right? Like, I'm going to ask my friends to spend $160 on, you have to stop with that, because now what I have found over time is that those friends that took their own time to come around, if I would have just invited them to a challenge, that probably could have happened so much sooner. And I really think you need to believe you're asking them because you want to help them. You want to see how amazing this community is. You want to see the changes in their physical body and in the way that they are mentally and spiritually and however it affects you. That is what you're looking for, you know. And it's not about Beth. She was one of those friends that took time, but the thing is that's what it's about. Yes, you're building your team that way, but your intention is because you want them to run with you. And they may not be like a runner, a coach that takes on what you're taking on, but they may be somebody that helps you stay inspired and that you inspire, right? So just, I would say when you go to invite them, Marilyn always says, hey guys, well, it's like a fun, simple thing. And we overthink it and we make it this complicated, scary commitment. I mean, it truly is just about wanting to be part of a community, right? And improving their lives. And right now, I mean, no one's going back to a gym, right? Like now is the prime time. And even if they are going to open, now, I don't know about you, but I'm not interested in going back to a gym. And the fact that I never have to leave my house again, right, to like work out, I just think you need to start to shift the way you're thinking about your invites, because that's what I've been doing and it's working. Is that helpful?
Yes, thank you.
And everybody talks about this mindset work. In the beginning, I was lazy. I'm like, I'm not going to read this personal development. I'm not. It is everything. It is one of the 4 vital behaviors for a reason. It really helps you lean in a better way. And it doesn't have to be this book. If it's a 10-minute podcast or if it's anything, I would just say you really have to start to dive into that, because you're not going to see shifts in yourself until you start to shift the way that you're thinking about it.
I'll ask you a question. So what was, hi, you're so amazing.
Oh, thanks.
But you said like you didn't start off like super strong. Was it something that Meredith said to you, or was it your own mindset that made you decide like, okay, I'm going to go in, I'm going to go for it. And then I'm going to actually really like go diamond, get SC10 and really do something with this? Because I would love, and I know like you can't do it for your coaches, but I would love to be able to set my new coaches up in a way that helps them believe in themselves, because that's what I see a lot of. I've got some coaches that are like boom out of the gate, but then I've got a lot that were super hesitant. So I'd love to hear what made you flip that switch?
Yeah, I would say, first of all, I feel like I'm still in that, like, I've had, you know, like the flip has been switched a lot, but I still fall back into that, you know, so I have to be really mindful about consistency. But I just told Meredith this today. There were so many days. I don't think my intention when I started was like, yeah, I'm going to be this like beach buddy coach. Like in my mind, like, my God, I would love to have what Meredith has, right? But like, I didn't understand the hard work that it took. When I started to understand the hard work, I started to be like, gosh, I don't know if I can do this. And I don't know what, if it was like the universe lining up. In the days that I'm not kidding you, in the moments that I felt like I can't do this, I'm just gonna stop. Meredith would call me out of the blue, or she would send me like a voice message, which she does, with just like you do with me, Lauren. She'll just call and she'll say, hey, and she'll leave me this really positive whatever message. And I'm like, oh, so I can do this, right? Like, all right, she thinks I can do this, so maybe I can. So I think one is like really staying supportive of the coaches you think can like run with you, right? Like, and I would say the other thing, I would just have like one little success and it would light my fire again, right? So I think the combination of little tiny successes along the way, even if it was like one customer, I was like, yes, I can do this. And then I would put all my focus on that one customer. And so it was like, okay, it was small successes and then Meredith's, her encouragement, and it always came at the right time, right? And then I was like falling into this, right? I didn't even really understand. It was like when I started to see like how to build it and understand like, oh, this person's helping this person. And now I started putting the pieces together. I had to understand it first and I didn't understand it. So I would say also like really coach your coaches, like make sure they understand, like, what does it mean to go Emerald? Like, what does that look like? Because I would sit on these calls and I'd be like, yeah, okay. You know, but I wasn't really putting a lot of like time into understanding how it works, how you build it, I guess. So I would say make sure you're encouraging them, that they understand the business, and then if they have tiny successes, it just lights their fire, or it did for me.
I love that.
Oh, thanks. And it's gotten really fun because I feel like in the last month, really, since the Muscle Burns Fat came out in the challenge, I feel like I've really gotten to know some of the women in the community that I didn't before. And so I'm feeling more connected, right? I'm feeling more invested in, you know, and like following more people on social media and watching how you're doing your business and, you know, paying attention to other people outside of Meredith. Not that she's still not my number one person that I follow. But I think really starting to see how other people do it. And by getting to know you guys, it's been really great for my growth, right? And my connecting, which makes me more invested.
I can very much relate to your story.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? No,
Yeah.
I moved from Charleston, South Carolina up to Montana, like 2,800 miles. Yeah, last year. So, and my story is I was always a gym rat, and I'm a survivor of domestic violence, which the only reason I'm bringing this up is you have a huge community of people. And my gym family was always who I leaned on to help me. Sorry.
No, please.
So it's nice to know that I have a community of people I can work out with here, because I know what you mean when you move to a whole new town, you don't know who anybody is, you're going to start all over again. And then I was an oral surgery assistant for years, so I'm going through PT right now because the repetitive motion, I can't hardly use like my left hand, it's just all numb. So I'm having to start at the age of 48 a whole new career. So I can very much relate to you, and the self-development is huge because I always had people that supported me back in Charleston that I knew. But having the support on the online thing of people from all over the United States and Canada that I've never even met in person is just phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And the book I'm reading is this one. I don't know if you can see it. Love Like You've Never Been Hurt.
I haven't seen that book before.
Anyway, it's phenomenal. That's the one I'm reading for myself because everybody has areas in their life where they need basically self-esteem built up for one reason or the other. And I've got a huge following of people. They're like, you inspire me all the time. You just keep on keeping it on. You just go on. And some days, like probably everybody else, you don't want to get out of the bed. You don't know what else to do, you know, and you just keep on. A lot of times I don't want to get up, but I still I take my Energize, I hit the play button, and obviously when you're done, you're like, woohoo, I did it. You know what I mean? You get that feeling of accomplishment. But my biggest thing is I don't know how much to share on social media of my private life because I don't want to seem like, oh, she's this poor, pitiful little, do you know what I'm saying? There's that fine line of how much do I guess that's my question to you because I'm getting people to mold gym rats to maybe buy some chocolate recovery. They're wanting to try my Energize, but as far as like trying to get my workouts, they're like, yeah, I'm still with the gym. So I'm like, I'm trying to connect with people outside of my normal network, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how much of my personal life do I share without being like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to come across.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah.
And I think for me it was I think you have to find what you're comfortable sharing, right? Like when you're talking to me about what you've survived and that you've moved, I'm connecting with you, right? Like I'm feeling the feels. I'm like, my eyes are watering up. Like, and for me, the thing that I learned in some of these calls is your pain points are how people are going to connect to you. It's up to you how comfortable you are and how much you want to share. Like my infertility story is like long and dramatic and so much loss and so much pain and so much hurt. I don't feel like I need to share all of that, but I need to connect with the women who have felt that same pain. And by me saying, I have felt loss, I have had loss, right? I think for me right now, that's enough. So I think by you saying, again, what you're comfortable saying, but I think you connect with people on really a pain point, and then how deep you want to go with it really is up to you, you know?
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say the last thing I think for me is I had a really hard time for a long time because I felt like my body was failing me, right? Like I can't give my family, I can't give my husband and I a baby and my body is failing me and failing us and my marriage is going to fail. Like it was, and I have learned over time to love my body again for so many more reasons, right? Like my body's not defined by the fact that I've had multiple miscarriages and multiple loss. My body has done so many great things for me. And I feel like that's a piece of this that has made me fall in love, that's dramatic, but appreciate my body more than what I was. And so for you, you just have to find those pieces that you think can relate to people and what you're comfortable sharing and start to share it, you know? And I think you have to find a balance, right? You can't just always be like miscarriage, infertility all the time.
Right.
I think if you're including bits and pieces of what is part of your story, I think it's so huge.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that balance. I have a 17 and 21-year-old that don't even talk to me because their dad's manipulated. Like you said, it's a whole story. It could be another. So, but anyway, I'm not going to waste everybody's time, but I want to throw all that on social media because it's going to come back. And it's just, my daughter just got over cancer, and that's.
Oh God.
Again, I'm trying to find that line of how much do you share. So I appreciate you saying, you know, it's just little bits and pieces.
Yeah. And I think too, maybe like I always go to like Meredith, if I have questions about that kind of stuff, maybe go to your sponsor coach and say, hey, here's what I'm thinking of sharing. What are your thoughts? And maybe they can help you be creative about it, or however comfortable you are, you know, maybe asking some of the girls on the team, you know, take note of who's in here.
I don't want to have diarrhea of the mouth all over the place and have people feel sorry for me because that's not my story. If you knew of everything, everybody's got a story, but if you knew everything that I've been through. Anyway, that's all. I'll talk to Courtney Burtney's my sponsors.
Yeah, please. She'd be fantastic. Yeah.
I'll talk to her about that in more detail. I haven't even told her this, so.
Well, maybe she's on the call. I don't even know.
I don't know. I haven't looked to see. But anyway, anybody else can get on here. I'm not trying to, anyway, take up all your time.
No, you're fine. One quick last piece of advice I would say, the other thing too, whoever is in like your support circle. I would say once, you know, when I started this, I'm like, oh, it's my thing. I'm just going to do it. You know, my husband knew I was doing it, but I didn't really involve him in the process or anything. Once I opened up to him and started having more conversations, and then he got more involved and wanting to have conversations about it. And it doesn't have to be a partner. It can be anybody in your circle. I think then I started to also get more comfortable, right? Like sharing my story, and because he is included in that story. So I think that was important.
All right, ladies, if you're not going to ask any more questions, I'll let Jess off the hot seat because it's late on the East Coast. And she shares
by the way, drinking Energize at 10 p.m. because I was putting my son to bed going, so I could probably go on for another hour.
Yeah, Jess is like, you're going to kill me for saying this. She's like, she's like, did I brush my teeth today? Did I shower today? It was something like that. And it was like, that's coach life. Like, well, I don't know. And it's kind of like COVID work from home life for everyone these days. It's like, wait, what did I do today? What didn't I do today?
I don't think I had brushed my teeth when we talked.
Good thing I was 2,000 miles away. You guys, Jess is awesome. I love you, Jess. I'm proud of you. And I'm just proud of you for stepping up in leadership and leading your first call tonight. It is so daunting and so scary. And it's also such a huge growth opportunity. So I really encourage all of you to heed her advice and just keep doing, lean in, learn as you go, do the things, be teachable, connect with your sponsor, be open if you're having doubts and feelings. Like, I can't tell you how many times I wanted to quit, even when I hit 5-star, because it's like, this is hard, right? Like, yeah, growth is hard. Because the growth, and we were talking about this today too, Jess had said she saw a social media post of mine years ago, and I was like crying, and I shared this post, and it was very vulnerable, and it was about judgment and like stuff that went down with friends on a trip of mine, and it was all about this. And now in retrospect, she's able to say, wow, the amount of growth work you must have been doing to be able to be that vulnerable and share those things. And that also was a post of mine that connected with a lot of people, right? Because I spoke to a pain point. But the point being that, like, the mindset work, the work to grow your business in a Beachbody business, yeah, you're going to learn like techniques with like how to talk to people, build rapport, close, or things like that. But it always comes down to the mindset work, the inner work, the personal development work, the inner growth, you falling in love with this. And when you like, I'm getting chills, like this is my everything. And like a lot of you may not know, I'm walking through some really tough stuff and have been for months on end now. And if I didn't have this, I would be, I'll be honest with you, I would drink too much because this is where I came from in the beginning. I'd be way over drinking. I would be eating because when I overdrink, I eat. I would wake up feeling horrible. I'd have no energy. I wouldn't be taking care of myself, despite having great friends and health and wellness. If I didn't have this, if I didn't have to show up for other people, and I didn't have people relying on me and the love that I feel from this community, I wouldn't make it. So like you were saying, Jess, it's like we have an obligation to pay this forward. And someone that says no, they're just saying no to themselves. Jess said no to herself for a while, right? And that's just part of the process. So trust the process, lean in, develop yourself, develop your leadership. And I can't wait to see you all host your first Diamond Team call or next Diamond Team call. Lots of love. Thank you all for sharing and contributing. And thank you so much for leading tonight, Jess. Love you guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.